Welcome to Lesson 8 of this JavaScript course. My name is Jiayuan, but you can call me Janice. I'm a senior, class of 2017, at the Bronx High School of Science in New York City. In this lesson, we are going to use JavaScript to control the CSS properties of HTML elements. This opens new possibilities for user interactivity. We will add a final touch to the bunny slideshow from lessons 6 and 7 by letting the user change the background colors of the slideshow interface. To start, we need the lesson 07 slideshow.html file open. If you don't already have this file, you can go down to the description box and download it there, and you can also find the lesson 8 solution file there as well. So after you have the file open, do a File, Save As, and rename the file lesson 08 JSCSS. Save it. Let's just change the title to JS8 CSS meets JavaScript. So in this lesson, we are going to use JavaScript to change the CSS of our slideshow divs, which are currently all gray. To allow JavaScript to target the CSS of an HTML element, we need to first pass the entire element to a JavaScript variable, known as an object. A JavaScript object made from an HTML tag inherits all the attributes and CSS properties of that element. These values can be changed using JavaScript. In this example, we will change the background color of BigPic div. So go into the bottom of script and declare a new variable. Call it BigPicDiv. And set that equal to document.getElementById BigPic. Notice no property at the end, no inner HTML, and no value, because we want a JavaScript variable consisting of the whole element. Now that our div exists as a JavaScript object, we can target its CSS. So on the next line, write the variable name, BigPicDiv, followed by a dot, then the word style, which refers to CSS. Then just put the name of the CSS property you want to change. In this case, we want to target the background color, so write dot background color, which you notice has no hyphen as it does in CSS. So JavaScript does not use the exact same property names as in the CSS rule. Put the value in quotes. Let's try pink and set that equal to pink. Let's save and refresh your browser. And our BigPic div has a pink background. Next, let's add interactivity by letting the user pick the new background color. For that, we need to replace pink with a variable. So declare a new variable and call it new color. And set it equal to some other color, violet. Set the new background color equal to the new color variable. Save and refresh. And now the background color of the div is violet. To let the user choose a new color, we have to let them set the new color variable. For that, we need a function. Let's call it swapColor and wrap the curly braces around our 3 lines of new code. So type a function and call it swapColor. And wrap it around the 3 lines. Instead of having a button called a function, we're going to let the user choose a new color from an HTML5 Color Picker. So go up to the top of the HTML, right inside the body, above all the divs, and add an input object of type color, new for HTML5. And this input type automatically comes with a full menu of color choices. So type input type equals color. Give the element an ID of big-pick call so that JavaScript can target this element to get its color value. And assign an event to call our function. The event we want is onChange, which means the function swap color will be called whenever the user changes the color. Type bigpick bg color colon before the input tag so the user knows what to do. So now the input object is calling the function swap color, but the new color variable is still set to violet. So take out the hard-coded color and change it to document.getElementById bigpickCall.value. So save and refresh your browser and try changing the color. And it works. On Windows, you have to click OK to see the change. Let's wrap the input element in the H3 to give it some separation from the divs. So go up to the HTML and add a pair of H3 tags around. And give the H3 some CSS to make the text white. So go inside the H3 tag, type style equals color colon white semicolon margin left colon 50px. So save and refresh browser, and we see the text color changed to white, and it's more space between the input object and the divs. But what if we want to also give the user the option of changing other background colors, such as the Slideshow div? Let's try that. For this, we need another color picker. So copy and paste your input object. And put the label Slideshow BG color. And change the ID to Slideshow call. Now that we have 2 elements calling the same function, how is this function supposed to know which color picker was used? We need a function parameter. This will carry unique information to the function, so it will know which of the 2 input objects called the function. So go to the input tags, and between the parentheses, add a parameter to each one. For bigpick, we will call the parameter b, uppercase. JavaScript is case sensitive, so this is not the same as a lowercase b. The letter needs to go in quotes since it is a string and not a number. We use single quotes so as not to conflict with the double quotes of the attribute. For the other input tag, let's call the parameter s for slideshow, also in single quotes. Now the function will receive either a b for bigpick or an s for slideshow, so the function will always know which element called it. Now that we have parameters in our function calls, we need to pass in the parameter to the function itself. So go down to the script to our swap color function and pass in the parameter. We can call it anything we want. Let's call it picker. since it is a color picker that calls the function. If the parameter equals b, we want to set the big pick div background color. But if the parameter is s, we set the slideshow div background color. To make that decision, we'll use if-else logic. So go right inside the function and wrap our 3 lines of code in an if statement. And tab them in. These 3 lines set the color of the big pick div. So for the if condition, put picker double equals b. This code will now run if and only if the parameter is b. So let's save and refresh the browser. And the big pick color chooser should work. But the slideshow color chooser does not work yet. And that is the else part. So go back into the function and add the else part. Copy and paste these 3 lines of code into the else statement. So change the first variable name to slideshow div. And the div it's targeting is slideshow. And for var new color, change the input object to slideshow call. And on the third line, it's slideshow div dot style dot background color. So save and refresh. Now both should work. To wrap up, in this lesson, we looked at how JavaScript can target the CSS of any HTML element. And we only look at the background color, but it could be any property. So that is it for lesson 8, and I'll see you in lesson 9.